Hey everyone, welcome to the Beyond the Bread. Thank you for, as always, joining. Please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our latest content. Also visit breakbreadbreakchains.com so that you can stay up to date with our latest content. This Beyond the Bread is a supplement to the devotional Behind the Mask from scriptures in John chapter 10, verses 24 through 30. As always, I tell you, Beyond the Bread is a supplement. It's a confirmation of what you've already been hearing. It's not a sermon. It's not anything like it's just a little bit more going a little bit in depth on the devotional. So we kind of start there, with that scripture. And in that scripture, I'm going to paraphrase. I'm not going to read it um, here, but you can, obviously read it yourself. But, Jesus is talking to the Pharisees and he's, explaining to them that his sheep know his voice. He is their shepherd and they will not stray. And he tells them that they don't know his voice and they are not his children. And of course, they're not happy about that. But, you know, coming out of that text, um, I really want to kind of get into this question that I have, is whose voice are you listening to? Because I think it's easy to read that scripture and say, yeah, those Pharisees, they're not, doing God's will. They're not hearing his voice. They were, doing the law, but not showing grace, all the things that, Jesus tells us to do. But, you know, at least in their defense, I'd say for the Pharisees, they were trained in the law and they held fast to that. They hadn't seen God in flesh. They hadn't seen God incarnate. They didn't know necessarily what that looked like. Jesus was there to show them. And now that we're, 2,000 years later, and we've seen those, we've read the scriptures, and we've seen, and know that Jesus has been resurrected. Why do we still not fully listen to the voice of our shepherd? And I'll just share like my testimony with regard to that. Just, so many times when I hear that thing like do this or don't say this, and I just do it anyway because that's what I feel like doing. And it's the battle of the flesh. And so I want to challenge you this week to really take every decision captive and make sure that we are listening to God's voice. Because that's the other thing too, is that we think that, or I won't say we, but sometimes I think, oh, this isn't a big deal. God doesn't care about this. It's just this, it's just that. But God cares about every decision because it's part of who we are as far as our character, and that character is building up our witness, and that witness is going to help us lead others to Christ. So if there's, you know, shortcuts in those things, then that makes our witness less effective and can compromise our ability to reach others. Because a lot of times it's not just about us being saved. I think that there's a little bit of a, hey, I'm good, I'm saved, I know the Lord, I got baptized, I go to church, I tithe. But what fruit are you bearing? Are you God is now directing you. You didn't get baptized and pay your tithes, do all these things according to the law just to check a box. You did them so that God can now usher you into his kingdom as one of his witnesses, as one of his leaders, his children. And so I just challenge you this week to start looking at the decisions you're making and saying, did I even consult God in that? And then second, maybe I did hear from God and I just did went a different direction. Who are we serving, when we make the decisions that we make? And that's the thing that we have to really, I think, take into account is the voice of God is very discernible to those who follow him, but there are times when things that we put in our lives can kind of mess with that, muck that communication up, whether it be a wrong relationship, a wrong pursuit of financial gain, just any other selfish desire or pursuit, too many to list that we have can take us off course. So just pray this week for a realignment. And also just, I challenged everyone in the action section to just take a week off of something you've been watching or listening to so that you can make sure you're hearing God's voice clearly, because that's really the most important thing. We get so caught up in, oh, I want to get, want to catch up on this show, I want to catch up on this reading, this news piece. But realistically, we need to catch up on what God is saying, make sure we're in tune with his voice every day, because every day he speaks and every day he's giving us something that's going to benefit not just us, but those that we come in contact with. So I just want to leave you with that. I love you guys. As always, thank you for checking out this video. Continue to subscribe, like it, share with others. Visit breakbreadbreakchains.com for all the latest content there, and you won't miss anything. So again, I love you guys. I'll see you soon on another Beyond the Bread. God bless.